The cool evening breeze of the desert was welcoming to the young Minotaur as he raced after his friends. Their laughs echoed off the plateau walls around them, only encouraging him to run faster. He wouldn't let them beat him. He watched as one of his friends' hooves disappeared around the corner. So close. Just a little bit faster. Just a little bit more. His chest grew tight and he stopped, falling into a coughing fit. But he wouldn't let that stop him. He chased after his friend again, the blood now dotting his sleeves, remaining unnoticed. The house was unnaturally quiet, like everyone was holding their breath, waiting for something. A young Minotaur boy lay on a bed made of straw, eyes closed and breath labored, as his mother and a green Yuan-ti spoke quietly in the corner. He couldn't hear what they were saying, but he knew it was bad. He caught the words uncurable and 2 months at best as they fell out of the healer's mouth. He saw, more than heard, the protests from his mother, the anger and sadness in the words, "This can't be," mouthed in horror. A coughing fit racked his body once again, and his mother rushed over to his side. He looked at her with sunken eyes and met ones filled with tears. Scratch, 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 went the rock. Deeper, deeper, deeper went the lines. Help, 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 went the mother. The two parallel lines, freshly carved into the cavern wall in front of her, were silent. Help me, help me, help me, she begged. Drip, drip, drip went her tears, and yet the lines were silent. Her barely whispered prayers echoing in the walls of the cavern. Help him, help him, help him, she begged, her voice hoarse with time. This time the lines changed. They embraced her. They gave her what she needed. Grateful, she got up. Hopeful, she ran to him. The breeze was the same, but the game was different. This time he was hiding and his friends were looking for him. It had been a while since he had been able to play with them. They were taller now, and jokes he didn't understand, but he was just happy to be able to play with them again. He hid behind a crate, listening intensely for footsteps, but all he heard was the sand shifting and the distant sounds of the market. "Found you!" came a voice from behind him, and he jumped. When had she learned to be so silent? "Come on, now you have to help me find the others." He agreed, and followed her out of his hiding spot. It was nice to play again. It was nice to be able to run. The trouble did not stop when the link to the anger was killed. People were paranoid now. People were always paranoid after a linked attack, especially ones where people ended up dead, and this time, 2 families had died. She knew the danger, knew to stay home to avoid being found. What she didn't know, however, was that her close friend she had trusted with her secret had told the mob. When the knocks came at the door, she thought it was a concerned neighbor. As she opened the door, however, instead of a friendly, smiling face, she saw angry faces, their expressions only made more severe by the torches they carried. Each had a weapon, and each had a goal. Kill the linked. Kill it before it kills more of us. She tried to shut the door, but a familiar foot blocked it. "I can't let you hurt these people," he said. She tried to flee, to turn and run, but he grabbed her horns and pulled her backwards. She screamed in pain as she hit the ground, and he started dragging her out of the house. Her son was dragged too, and told to follow. The nightgown she wore did nothing to protect her from the hot sand and sharp stones as she was dragged to the center of town. She cried for help, pleaded, but no one listened. She tried to explain she wasn't a monster. She wouldn't kill anyone, ever. But all she got in response was the clink of metal and the murmuring of the mob. Her horns were chained to a metal bar in between two buildings. She tried to move, to turn her head or break out, but the chains were tight. She felt something sharp and metal poke into her side. She couldn't turn her head to see what it was. No, the trader said. We let the sandstorms take her. The words sunk in. They were going to leave her here? They were going to leave her here to choke on sand? Why? She hadn't killed anyone. She wasn't a monster. Why would they do this? As she screamed and begged for help, for anyone to help her, she watched as her son, her dear, beloved child, was dragged away, tears in his eyes as well. Trader stepped towards her, red-hot knife in hand. You're a monster, he said, as he carved a line into her forehead. The pain was blinding and she screamed again. She tried to move away as he carved another parallel to it. Now, even if it helps you out, you won't be able to hide what you really are, he snarled, sticking the knife in the sand at her feet. He spit at her as he walked away, black dots creeping in her vision, but by some curse she remained awake. She opened her eyes and saw a wall of dark sand steadily approaching. The bright Nefer moon above winked out as the wall hurled towards her. The last thing she saw before everything was covered in sand was her son in the house directly in front of her, banging on the windows with tears streaming down his face. Then the sand blocked out her vision, and she felt as her skin was ripped from her and her muscles were sanded down. She screamed, but that only made her choke on sand faster. She screamed and screamed and screamed until all she could taste was sand and all she could see was darkness. She knew she was going to die here. Die because one man had decided her a monster. She hung there on the verge of death. The end called for her, as it does everything, and she followed.